Okay. Ohio State, Wisconsin.
I thought this would be a much bigger game. And this is admittedly something, just a little peel behind the onion here, guys. We didn't really prep for this one. I kind of sprung this one on Tyler late, so we don't have to get too into it. But Ohio State on the road, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coming off a pretty massive win against Penn State. Some people weren't impressed by that. I was. I thought it was a good win. I'm not going to sit here and get into the camp of like, oh, it was an ugly game and, like whatever. I thought it was a very, very good win against a very good Penn State team. Penn State is still one of the only teams in the country that is ranked in the top 15 in both offense and defense in the country. And they are ranked 6th, I think, on offense and 1st in defense, or like 2nd in defense, something like that. And so they're both in the top 10. Wisconsin is 5-2. Definitely a team that's flown under the radar. They have 2 losses. One of them is to Iowa, 15-6. I will say I've been a little bit disappointed in some of this team because I thought it was a team that could challenge. I still think they can win the Big Ten West. They're currently leading it, but like with the schedule and with Phil Longo coming up, I thought that the offense would be a little bit better than it has been. Ohio State on the road coming off that game, they're 14.5-point favorites. I will say I think Wisconsin covers that. Whatever the first half line is, which is probably about 10, I would definitely jump all over Wisconsin, just like maybe as like one of my locks of the week. Because I think that they'll have that place jumping. It's a night game on NBC. I will take Ohio State to win, but I think it'll be a little bit more difficult than they realize. I'll say Ohio State 30 to 20.
Okay. So it's a 10.5-point spread. You're saying they go
14.5.
14.5. Okay. Yeah. What time is this game?
7:30 at night.
Ooh. Yeah. That's a tough spot for Ohio State.
Yeah.
I agree. There was a lot that went into that game. The only thing I'm thinking about here is Wisconsin. I jumped on Wisconsin -3.5 against Illinois last week, and they like barely at the very last minute scored a touchdown to cover that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at their stats here. The thing that scares me is I feel like when you're an underdog, you have to at least be able to hit the explosive play. And when you're like a 2-touchdown underdog, they're 129th in the country in explosiveness. Meanwhile, Ohio State.
Wisconsin is?
Yeah.
How the fuck is that possible with Phil Longo?
Well, I mean, year one, like he probably doesn't have the roster where he wants it.
He's got Tanner Mordecai.
Yeah, but what receivers do they have?
I don't know. Tanner Mordecai sounds like the best flag football, like fraternity flag football quarterback ever.
Just a pike out there slinging it.
Dude, he played 3 years in high school, bro. He could have played here. He just hurt his shoulder towards ACL joint.
I just think Wisconsin's offense is not going to be able to move the ball much on Ohio State. I mean, gosh, that's a lot on the road, but yeah, I'm going to take Ohio State to cover. I don't know the score, but I just can't see Wisconsin scoring a ton of points.
Okay, so I'll say Ohio State 34-17.
Let me see what the total is.
It's 50, so that's 51.
45.5.
It's 45.5.